and Jasmine from Ann Wadden. They got fourth place at State History Day for their junior group performance on the Night of Terror.
My name's Olivia.
My name's Jasmine.
My name's Elizabeth.
Our topic is the Night of Terror, women's suffrage.
How do women even get the right to vote?
Women have been protesting since the 1800s when a major event happened called the Night of Terror, which led to women getting the right to vote.
I remember that, but I don't see why it's so important.
The Night of Terror was a direct pathway to women getting the right to vote. It shone a spotlight on unfair treatment towards women suffragists. This led to more people realizing that women should be treated equally. That put pressure on the government to take responsibility and give them the rights they deserve. Have you gentlemen cast your ballots yet?
Yes.
Get your votes in, get your votes in. Last chance to vote.
Do you think President Wilson will be re-elected?
I'm not sure. Some of his recent statements on women's suffrage might affect the polls.
How's that?
Some men don't agree with him.
Oh, I heard he told the women to wait, and he would soon make it happen.
Is that so?
Yes. My wife was telling me about a visit she had from our neighbor. They were talking about wanting the right to vote, how women should have the same rights as men.
That's absurd. Women do not deserve the same rights as men. They belong at home with their children.
I agree. Women don't know anything about politics. And besides, this is a man's job. There's no place for women here.
I believe women deserve the right to vote. They uphold the responsibility to obey the laws, yet the government is denying them the rights they deserve.
In the early 1900s, men and women were not equal. There were many women's suffrage organizations, but one of the main ones was the National Women's Society. They organized a protest, which led up to an event later in history called the Night of Terror. It took place on November 15, 1917.
Alice, it's not fair. Why can't we vote? We obey the laws just as men do.
I agree, Lucy. We have tried before, and President Wilson told us to wait. We must do something about this right away. We women of America tell you America is not a democracy. 20 million women are denied the right to vote.
I think we should protest in front of the White House. That will get the message out and show how serious we are about this. We'll need more people for this, though.
It is better as far as getting the voters, I believe, to have a small united group than an immense divided society.
What? What do you mean the women have returned to protesting? I'm aware that it's just released from the workhouse, but why on earth have they returned to protesting? These women are creating a problem. As the president, I demand you to fix it. I don't care what you do, just make it stop!
The women picketed for weeks, and despite the disrespectful comments and threats, they never yelled or fought back. They stood silently. They were later called the Silent Sentinels.
When the women first began picketing, January 10, 1917, they were noticed but ignored. When the United States got involved in World War I, the public began to get upset. They believed it was not right for the girls to protest the government during war.
Guards, we must stop these women. Do whatever it takes. They will be stopped.
Yes, sir. The abuse began with Agnes Morey when she was stabbed between the eyes with a broken splintered stick by 2 guards.
The superintendent of the Occoquan workhouse, W.H. Whitaker, ordered nearly 40 guards to torture the woman. Bystanders reported the guards of dragging, slamming, grabbing, choking, beating, twisting, pinching, and kicking the suffragists.
You need to leave. Now! Get up! I said get up! Get up! Get up!
For weeks, the woman's only water came from an open pail. Although the women were served food, it was revolting. It was colorless slop with maggots in it. Alice Paul requested for a different and more nutritious meal, but they denied her request.
Here's your meal for the day.
This food has maggots in it.
If you're hungry, you will eat it.
This food is not nutritious, nor safe for consumption. I will not eat it.
This is the only food you'll get. Eat it or starve.
Food simply isn't important to me. Hall was placed in solitary confinement, where she was called crazy or mentally insane. Police officials sent Alice to a sanitarium, where they could get a psychiatrist to confirm she was crazy. The doctor rejected the offer and said, "Courage in women is often mistaken for insanity."
The women went on a hunger strike to show that just because they're locked up doesn't mean they won't stop fighting. This led to the women being harshly brutalized.
I was held down by 5 people at legs, arms, and head. I refused to open my mouth. Gannon pushed tube up left nostril. It hurts nose and throat very much and makes nose bleed freely. Food dumped directly in the stomach feels like a ball of lead. Left nostril, throat, and muscles of neck very sore all night. Lucy Burns. The food was a liquid that contained raw eggs and water. The guards force-fed the woman continuously until they would throw up. They had to do this because it was their responsibility to keep the woman alive.
Another suffragist, Agnes Murray, was hurled into a dark cell where she hit her head and was knocked unconscious. Her cellmate thought she was dead and suffered a heart attack.
The public found out about this news when Lucy Burns smuggled out pieces of a quote of her being force-fed. This led to an immediate investigation of the Crockett workhouse. Once it was proved that the women were being tortured, there was an immediate hearing to decide whether or not the sentence should end. The judge agreed that the women had been tortured for no more than using their constitutional right to protest the right to vote.
Immediately after the women were released, there was a great increase on support to the suffragists. Congressmen began working on the 19th Amendment for women's suffrage. President Wilson finally gave in and set a date for the vote.
The year 1920 was the first presidential election that allowed women to vote. 1 in 3 women voted.
70.4 million women casted ballots in the 2008 presidential election, but only 60.4 million men did. In 2012, 53% of eligible female voters voted, but only 47% of eligible male voters voted.
In the 2012 Obama versus Romney election, more women voted for Obama, 55% to 45%. Obama won the election because of the women.
Women have the right to vote today because of the suffragists during the Night of Terror who refused to surrender after being arrested and abused for using nothing more than their constitutional right to protest. I'm going to vote in honor of the suffragists who fought for us during the Night of Terror.
I still don't see why it's so important.
It is. Did you know that women didn't have any say in who was in office until 1920? Some women got beaten and tortured, trying again and again to gain the right to vote. Now that we have it, you don't want to use it?
Well, still, that was then and this is now. They won the fight, it's over. How does this affect me?
It affects you because you're a woman. Before we got the right to vote, we weren't seen as equals. Men were treated better than us. The public looked down on us. Sure, there were still problems after that, but getting the right to vote was a major accomplishment. We owe it to the women who struggled and suffered, but still fought on.
Don't you want to choose the person who will best represent your beliefs and opinions? At least think about it.
I guess I see why it's important. I'll vote.